You wake up in the morning and feel that strange sensation, like your head is heavy, sometimes a headache that won't go away. That seemingly inexplicable fatigue. And when you go to check your blood pressure, there it is, skyrocketing, the high numbers reminding you that you're hostage to this silent condition that could lead to a stroke or heart attack at any moment. You've tried everything, taking your medication every day, trying to control your salt intake, but nothing seems to work completely. Your blood pressure keeps fluctuating, leaving you fearful, anxious, and unsure if you're doing enough to protect your life. Today, I'm going to reveal to you an herb that science has studied intensively in recent years, and that has shown absolutely impressive results in controlling blood pressure, results that begin to appear in just 5 days of use. An herb that has the power to dilate your blood vessels, relax your arteries, and bring your blood pressure to healthy levels naturally and without the harsh side effects of medications. But before I reveal this miracle herb, I need to tell you about 2 other powerful herbs that work synergistically with it, and also warn you about a tea that many people drink thinking it's healthy but is actually dangerously worsening their blood pressure. Stay until the end because I'll give you a complete protocol on how to use these herbs to transform your cardiovascular health in the coming days. Before we begin, if you suffer from high blood pressure, if you're tired of relying on medications that don't truly solve the problem, if you want to discover natural solutions proven by science but that no doctor tells you because it doesn't make money for the pharmaceutical industry, then subscribe to this channel now and activate the notification bell. I post videos every week with information that can literally save your life. Information based on real scientific research but explained in a simple way that anyone can understand and apply. You deserve access to this knowledge. You deserve to know that there are natural alternatives that work. So don't miss this opportunity to be part of this community of people who are recovering their health through the wisdom of nature combined with modern science. Let's start by discussing the most powerful herb, the one with the potential to crush your blood pressure in just 5 days of consistent use. I'm talking about hibiscus, specifically the dried flower of the hibiscus sabdariffa plant, that intense, vibrant red flower that, when brewed as a tea, has a beautiful color and a slightly tart flavor. Hibiscus has been used for centuries in various cultures around the world, but only recently has modern science begun to understand exactly why this plant is so effective in controlling blood pressure. The research results are simply extraordinary, so impressive that many doctors and researchers were shocked to discover that a simple flower could have such a potent effect. Hibiscus contains a unique combination of bioactive compounds, including anthocyanins, flavonoids, organic acids, and polyphenols, and these compounds work together to create a powerful synergistic effect on your cardiovascular system. Hibiscus's mechanism of action is multifaceted. It doesn't just work one way, but attacks high blood pressure from several different angles simultaneously. First, hibiscus has a powerful natural diuretic effect, meaning it helps your kidneys eliminate excess sodium and water from your body through urine. When you eliminate this excess fluid, the volume of circulating blood automatically decreases, and consequently, the pressure within your blood vessels also decreases. It's like draining a hose that was overfilled. Second, hibiscus inhibits the angiotensin-converting enzyme, known by the acronym ACE, and herein lies one of this plant's most fascinating secrets. This ACE enzyme is responsible for producing a substance called angiotensin II in your body. And this angiotensin II is one of the most potent natural vasoconstrictors in existence. It causes your arteries to contract and narrow, forcing blood pressure upward. When hibiscus inhibits this enzyme, less angiotensin II is produced, your arteries relax and dilate, blood flows more easily, and blood pressure naturally drops. Interestingly, many high blood pressure medications work by this exact same mechanism, including the famous ACE inhibitors such as captopril and enalapril. The difference is that these medications carry a series of side effects, while hibiscus offers the same benefits in a natural and safe way. Third, hibiscus improves endothelial function, which is the ability of the cells lining your arteries to properly regulate blood flow. A healthy endothelium produces substances that keep vessels relaxed and flexible, but when there is endothelial dysfunction, arteries become stiff and blood pressure rises. Hibiscus's powerful antioxidants protect these endothelial cells from free radical damage, keeping your arteries young and functional. Fourth, hibiscus reduces oxidative stress and chronic inflammation, 2 key factors that damage the cardiovascular system over time and contribute to the development and worsening of hypertension. But what's truly impressive are the scientific studies on hibiscus, because we're not talking about popular beliefs or guesswork. We're talking about serious research published in respected medical journals. One of the most important studies, published in the Journal of Nutrition, followed 65 adults with high blood pressure who consumed hibiscus tea daily for 6 weeks. The results were extraordinary. There was an average reduction of 7.2 points in systolic blood pressure. The one on top, and this reduction was statistically significant and clinically relevant. Another study compared the effect of hibiscus with a common antihypertensive medication and found that hibiscus was almost as effective as the medication, with the added benefit of not causing the typical side effects of medications. An even more impressive study was conducted with people who had both type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure, a dangerous combination that increases cardiovascular risk. These people drank hibiscus tea for just 4 weeks, and the results showed not only a significant reduction in blood pressure, but also improved cholesterol levels and reduced oxidative stress. And here's the most fascinating fact. Some participants began seeing results within the first 5 days of consumption, with measurable reductions in blood pressure that continued to improve over the following weeks. Now comes the practical part you're eager to know: how to prepare and consume hibiscus tea correctly to obtain maximum benefits. Proper preparation is essential because if you do it wrong, you can destroy the active compounds or not extract enough of them. You'll need about 1 to 2 tablespoons of dried hibiscus flowers for every liter of water. Boil the water, turn off the heat, add the hibiscus flowers, and let it steep for at least 10 to 15 minutes. The longer you steep, the more compounds will be extracted and the more potent the tea will be. You can steep for up to 20 minutes if you prefer a stronger tea. After this time, strain the tea and it's ready to drink. Ideally, drink the tea while still warm or wait for it to cool naturally. You can even refrigerate it and drink it cold, especially on hot days. However, avoid sweetening it with sugar, as sugar defeats the whole purpose of improving your cardiovascular health. If you absolutely must sweeten it because you can't drink it without sweetener, use a minimal amount of stevia or xylitol, which are natural sweeteners that don't raise blood sugar. A delicious tip is to add a few drops of lemon to your hibiscus tea. This not only improves the flavor but also increases the absorption of antioxidants. The recommended amount to achieve therapeutic effects on blood pressure is about 500 milliliters to 1 liter per day, divided into 2 or 3 doses throughout the day. You can drink 1 cup in the morning on an empty stomach, another in the mid-afternoon, and if you prefer a third dose, you can have it at night before bed. Some people prefer to prepare a large pitcher of tea in the morning and drink it throughout the day, keeping it in the refrigerator. This works perfectly well and makes the routine easier. The important thing is consistency. You need to drink the tea every day to achieve and maintain results. There's no point in drinking it every other day. The effect is cumulative and depends on regular use. Regarding hibiscus precautions and contraindications, it's important to mention a few points. First, because hibiscus has a hypotensive effect, meaning it lowers blood pressure. People who already have low blood pressure should avoid it or use it with extreme caution, monitoring it regularly. Second, pregnant women should avoid hibiscus because some animal studies have suggested possible effects on the uterus. So to be on the safe side, it's best not to take any risks during pregnancy. Third, hibiscus can interact with some medications, especially antihypertensives, potentiating their effects. So, if you take blood pressure medication and want to start taking hibiscus, talk to your doctor and monitor your blood pressure closely, as it may be necessary to adjust the medication dose as your blood pressure improves. Now let's move on to the second powerful herb you need to know about, which works differently but complements hibiscus, creating a synergistic effect when used together. I'm talking about horsetail, also known scientifically as Equisetum arvens, a plant that has existed for millions of years and has exceptional medicinal properties. Horsetail is one of the plant's richest in the mineral silica found in nature, and this silica is essential for the health and flexibility of blood vessels. When your arteries have adequate silica levels, they remain elastic and flexible, able to dilate and contract properly according to the body's needs. However, when there is a silica deficiency, the vessels become rigid and hardened, leading to increased blood pressure. In addition to silica, horsetail contains flavonoids, saponins, and other compounds with potent diuretic action. Similar to hibiscus but with slightly different mechanisms. Horsetail's diuretic action helps eliminate excess fluids and sodium, relieving stress on the cardiovascular system and allowing the heart to work with less effort. Horsetail also has anti-inflammatory and antioxidant properties that protect blood vessel walls from damage, preventing the development of atherosclerosis and keeping arteries clean and healthy. Studies on horsetail show that it can significantly reduce blood pressure when used regularly, and the effect is even more pronounced when combined with other herbs such as hibiscus. One interesting study showed that people who drank horsetail tea daily for 8 weeks experienced an average reduction of 5 to 6 points in systolic blood pressure, as well as improvements in kidney function and toxin elimination. Horsetail is particularly beneficial for people with fluid retention, that swelling in the legs and feet that worsens at the end of the day, because its natural diuretic action helps drain excess fluid without causing electrolyte imbalances like some synthetic diuretics can. To prepare horsetail tea, use about 1 tablespoon of the dried herb for every half liter of water. Boil the water, add the horsetail, and let it simmer for another 5 minutes over low heat. Then, turn off the heat and let it steep for another 10 minutes before straining. Horsetail tea has a mild, slightly earthy flavor that most people find pleasant. You can drink 2 to 3 cups a day, preferably at times when you naturally eliminate more fluids, such as in the morning and mid-afternoon. Avoid drinking it too close to bedtime to avoid waking up during the night to go to the bathroom. A powerful combination is to alternate hibiscus tea with horsetail tea throughout the day, or even blend the 2 herbs in the same tea, creating an even more potent synergy. You can prepare a tea using a spoonful of hibiscus and half a spoonful of horsetail, following the hibiscus preparation method. This combination attacks high blood pressure through multiple mechanisms simultaneously, dilating blood vessels, eliminating excess fluids, reducing inflammation, and improving arterial elasticity, all at the same time. Regarding precautions with horsetail, it's important to note that because it's a potent diuretic, it can increase potassium excretion through urine. Therefore, it's essential to ensure adequate potassium intake through diet, such as bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, and dark leafy greens. People with severe kidney problems should avoid horsetail or use it only under medical supervision. As with hibiscus, pregnant and breastfeeding women should avoid horsetail for safety reasons. The recommended continuous use is a maximum of 6 to 8 weeks, followed by a 2-week break before resuming. This prevents kidney overload and maintains the plant's effectiveness. The third herb I'll introduce you to now is less well known but equally powerful when it comes to naturally controlling blood pressure. I'm talking about rosemary, that aromatic herb you probably have in your kitchen to season meats and roasts, but which goes far beyond being just a tasty seasoning. Rosemary, scientifically known as Rosmarina succinale, is a Mediterranean plant used for thousands of years in both cooking and traditional medicine. And modern studies have confirmed what the ancients already knew. Rosemary has exceptional cardiovascular properties. Rosemary contains active compounds such as rosmarinic acid, carnosol, rosmanol, and other powerful antioxidants that protect the cardiovascular system in multiple ways. One of rosemary's most interesting mechanisms is its ability to improve peripheral blood circulation, meaning it helps blood reach the extremities of the body, fingers, feet, and brain better. This happens because rosemary compounds promote vasodilation, the relaxation of blood vessels, allowing blood to flow with less resistance and consequently reducing blood pressure. Furthermore, rosemary has a calming effect on the nervous system, helping to reduce stress and anxiety, two factors that often increase blood pressure. When you're stressed, your body releases hormones like adrenaline and cortisol that constrict blood vessels and accelerate the heart rate, raising blood pressure. Rosemary helps modulate this stress response, keeping the nervous system more balanced and, consequently, blood pressure more stable. Studies have shown that the aroma of rosemary alone has beneficial effects, reducing cortisol levels and promoting relaxation. Imagine the benefits of consuming the herb regularly. Research on rosemary and blood pressure has shown that regular consumption can significantly reduce both systolic and diastolic blood pressure. A study of people with mildly elevated blood pressure showed that drinking rosemary tea daily for 4 weeks resulted in average reductions of 4 to 5 points in blood pressure, as well as improvements in lipid profiles, reducing bad cholesterol and increasing good cholesterol. Rosemary also showed protective effects against oxidative damage to blood vessel cells, keeping arteries young and healthy for longer. To prepare rosemary tea, you can use either fresh or dried rosemary. If using fresh rosemary, use about 3 to 4 small sprigs for each cup of water. If using dried rosemary, a heaping teaspoon is sufficient. Boil the water, turn off the heat, Add the rosemary, and let it steep for 10 minutes, covered, to preserve the beneficial volatile essential oils. Then strain and drink warm or cold, as you prefer. Rosemary tea has an aromatic and refreshing flavor that most people find very pleasant. You can drink 2 to 3 cups of rosemary tea a day. A good strategy is to drink 1 cup in the morning to start the day with focus and energy, as rosemary also improves brain circulation and mental focus. Then, drink another cup in the afternoon when many people experience a slump. Rosemary can be combined with the other herbs I mentioned. You can make a tea by mixing hibiscus, horsetail, and rosemary together, creating a powerful potion against high blood pressure. Or you can alternate teas throughout the day to vary the flavors and benefits. A delicious way to incorporate rosemary into your routine is to make rosemary lemonade, which is not only refreshing but also extremely beneficial. Prepare a concentrated rosemary tea, let it cool, then add fresh lemon juice, ice water, and a little honey or stevia if needed. This drink is perfect for hot days and keeps you hydrated while controlling your blood pressure. You can also add fresh rosemary leaves to flavored water, refrigerate for a few hours, and drink throughout the day. Regarding rosemary precautions, people with epilepsy should avoid consuming large amounts because some rosemary compounds can be stimulants in very high doses. Pregnant women should also avoid therapeutic amounts of rosemary, although small amounts are safe for culinary use. People with very low blood pressure should use it with caution and monitor their blood pressure. However, for the vast majority of people, rosemary is extremely safe and well tolerated, with no significant side effects. Now that you're familiar with these 3 powerful herbs, hibiscus, horsetail, and rosemary, need to pause here to ask you a very important question. Do you suffer from high blood pressure and are tired of relying on medications that only mask the problem? Would you like to try a natural approach that truly addresses the root causes of hypertension? Comment below and tell me which of these 3 herbs will you start using first. Write it like this: I'll start with hibiscus, or I'll start with horsetail, or I'll start with rosemary, or even I'll use all 3 together. When you write and make a public commitment, you increase your chances of actually putting it into practice and seeing results. And don't forget to share your experience after a few days of using the herbs. It can inspire and help others in the same situation. Now, I'll give you a complete protocol on how to use these herbs strategically to get maximum results in the shortest possible time. This protocol is based on scientific research and my clinical experience treating patients with hypertension over the years. Ideally, start gradually, especially if you've never used these herbs before, to give your body time to adapt and observe how it reacts. For the first 3 days, start with just hibiscus. Prepare a liter of tea in the morning and drink it throughout the day, divided into 3 or 4 cups. Measure your blood pressure every day at the same time, preferably in the morning on an empty stomach, and record the results to monitor your progress. Starting on the 4th day, add horsetail to the protocol. You can prepare the hibiscus tea and the horsetail tea separately, drinking the hibiscus in the morning and mid-afternoon, and the horsetail in the late morning. Or you can mix the 2 herbs in the same tea, as explained above. Continue measuring your blood pressure daily and observing how your body responds. Many people begin to see significant reductions in blood pressure within the first 5 to 7 days of consistent herbal use. Starting in the 2nd week, if you want to further enhance the results, add rosemary to the protocol. Now you have the 3 herbs working synergistically, each with its own specific mechanisms, but all converging toward the same goal of controlling your blood pressure. You can rotate the teas throughout the day, or you can make different combinations each day for variety. The important thing is to be consistent and not skip days, because the effect is cumulative and depends on regular use. In addition to using teas, I strongly recommend making some dietary changes that will enhance the effects of the herbs and accelerate their results. Drastically reduce your salt intake, especially hidden salt in processed and industrialized foods. Increase your consumption of potassium-rich foods like bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, and leafy greens, as potassium helps counteract the effects of sodium and relaxes blood vessels. Include more magnesium-rich foods like nuts, seeds, and cocoa, as magnesium is essential for proper vascular function. Drink plenty of pure water throughout the day, at least 2 liters, because dehydration can cause blood pressure to rise. Completely avoid refined sugar and white carbohydrates, which cause insulin spikes and inflammation, impairing blood pressure control. Increase your intake of good fats like olive oil, avocado, nuts, and fatty fish rich in omega-3 south. These fats are anti-inflammatory and heart protective. Eat more antioxidant-rich foods like berries, dark grapes, and colorful vegetables, because antioxidants protect your blood vessels from damage. In addition to your diet, incorporate regular physical activity into your routine, even if it's just walking for 30 minutes a day. This strengthens your heart and improves circulation. Practice stress management techniques like deep breathing, meditation, and yoga, as chronic stress is one of the biggest contributors to high blood pressure. Get plenty of sleep, at least 7 to 8 hours a night, because during sleep, your body recovers and your blood pressure naturally decreases. Avoid alcohol and cigarettes, which are extremely harmful to the cardiovascular system. When you combine the herbal protocol with these lifestyle changes, the results are exponentially greater than using either one alone. It's the integrated approach that brings the most profound and lasting transformations. You're attacking the problem from every possible angle, leaving no room for hypertension to continue harming you. Now it's time to warn you about a tea that many people drink thinking it's healthy, but which could actually be worsening your blood pressure without you even realizing it. I'm talking about black tea and other teas with excessive caffeine, such as large amounts of green tea and mate tea. Don't get me wrong, these teas have their benefits when consumed in moderation, but the problem is that excessive caffeine stimulates the sympathetic nervous system, speeds up the heart, constricts blood vessels, and causes blood pressure to rise, especially in people who are caffeine sensitive or already have hypertension. Black tea contains significant amounts of caffeine, typically between 40 and 70 milligrams per cup, depending on the steeping time and the tea variety. When you drink several cups throughout the day, this caffeine builds up in your body and can keep your blood pressure chronically high. Furthermore, many people add sugar to black tea, which further worsens the situation because, as I've explained, sugar contributes to hypertension through several mechanisms. Studies show that people with hypertension who consume more than 3 cups of black tea or coffee per day have significantly higher blood pressure than those who limit or avoid caffeine. Caffeine can also interfere with some high blood pressure medications, reducing their effectiveness or causing unwanted interactions. If you regularly drink a lot of black tea, coffee, or energy drinks, and your blood pressure is high despite taking medication, caffeine may be the unseen culprit. The recommendation is that people with hypertension avoid or drastically limit their consumption of caffeinated beverages. If you really enjoy tea and can't give it up, swap black tea for the herbs I mentioned, hibiscus, horsetail, and rosemary, which, in addition to being naturally caffeine-free, also actively help lower your blood pressure. You can make the transition gradually, replacing 1 cup of black tea with 1 cup of hibiscus. Then 1 more, until you completely eliminate black tea from your routine. Another important point concerns soda and energy drinks, which, in addition to containing caffeine, are loaded with sugar or artificial sweeteners, sodium, and other chemical additives that are truly poisonous for those with high blood pressure. If you're in the habit of drinking these beverages, you need to stop immediately and replace them with plain water. Water naturally flavored with fruits and herbs, or the medicinal teas I've mentioned. These industrialized beverages offer no benefits, only harm to your cardiovascular health. Let me tell you about some real-life cases of patients I've seen who transformed their lives using this herbal protocol I'm teaching you. There's a patient I'll call Maria. She was 58 years old and came into the office with her blood pressure constantly hovering around 160/100ths, even while taking 2 different medications. She was desperate, afraid of having a stroke like her father had, and didn't know what to do. I taught her this hibiscus, horsetail, and rosemary protocol, along with dietary and lifestyle guidelines. She started the protocol on a Monday, and when she returned for a follow-up appointment 3 weeks later, she was radiant. Her blood pressure had dropped to 130/85ths, a 30-point reduction in systolic and 15 points in diastolic. She reported that she had already felt a difference in the first week: fewer headaches, more energy, and better sleep. We continued monitoring, and after 3 months of consistent use of the herbs along with dietary changes, her blood pressure stabilized at 120/85ths, considered normal, and her doctor was able to reduce one of her medications by half. Another remarkable case involved a 65-year-old man I'll call Joe. He had type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure. He was taking 3 different medications, yet his blood pressure kept fluctuating dangerously. We began a customized herbal protocol for him, paying special attention because he also needed to control his blood sugar. Interestingly, hibiscus and rosemary also help with glycemic control, so he experienced a double benefit. Within 6 weeks, his blood pressure had dropped from an average of 150/95 to 135/85, and his blood sugar levels also improved significantly. These are just 2 examples among dozens of cases I've followed over the years. What all these cases have in common is that the people were consistent, faithfully followed the protocol, made the necessary changes, and didn't give up. Because I need to be honest with you, herbs aren't magic in the sense that you take them once and you're cured. They work through consistent and regular use. They are powerful tools, but they require commitment on your part. The great advantage of medicinal herbs over synthetic drugs is that they treat the problem more holistically. They not only lower blood pressure mechanically but also improve the health of the cardiovascular system as a whole. Synthetic medications often merely suppress symptoms without addressing the underlying causes. And they carry a long list of side effects that can harm other aspects of your health. When used correctly, herbs are extremely safe, non-addictive, don't overload the liver and kidneys like many medications do, and even offer additional benefits beyond blood pressure control. For example, hibiscus, besides lowering blood pressure, also protects the liver, improves digestion, strengthens the immune system, has mild anti-cancer properties, and aids in healthy weight loss. Horsetail strengthens bones and nails due to its high silica content, improves skin and hair health, aids wound healing, and has anti-inflammatory properties that benefit joints. Rosemary improves memory and concentration, protects the brain against degeneration, improves digestion, relieves muscle pain, and has antimicrobial properties. So you're not just managing your blood pressure, you're improving your health in a comprehensive and integrated way. Now I'll give you some extra tips to further enhance the results of your herbal protocol. First, consider adding magnesium supplements, as magnesium deficiency is extremely common and is directly linked to hypertension. Magnesium relaxes the smooth muscles of blood vessels, helps regulate heart rate, improves insulin sensitivity, and has a calming effect on the nervous system. The most bioavailable form is magnesium chelate or magnesium dimalate, approximately 300 to 400 milligrams per day, preferably at night because it also helps with better sleep. Second, consider adding fish oil or krill oil rich in omega-3 south. Because EPA and DHA fatty acids have potent anti-inflammatory and cardiovascular protective properties. Studies show that omega-3 supplementation can reduce blood pressure, especially in people with moderate to severe hypertension. The recommended daily dose is approximately 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams of EPA and DHA combined. If you are vegetarian or vegan, you can opt for algae oil, which also provides good quality omega-3 south. Third, try adding raw garlic to your daily diet, because as I've explained in other videos, garlic is one of the most powerful foods for your heart and blood pressure control. 1 or 2 cloves of raw garlic, crushed and let rest for 10 minutes before eating, mixed with olive oil or salads, can make a huge difference. If you can't tolerate raw garlic for breath odor or digestive issues, you can use aged garlic supplements that retain many of the benefits. Fourth, include more potassium-rich foods in your diet, as potassium is essential for balancing sodium and keeping blood pressure under control. Bananas, avocados, sweet potatoes, dark leafy greens like spinach and kale, beans, and lentils are all excellent sources of potassium. Try to include at least 2 to 3 servings of these foods daily. Just be careful if you have kidney problems, as excess potassium can be harmful, so talk to your doctor. Fifth, practice deep breathing exercises daily, because controlled breathing has a direct and immediate effect on blood pressure. A simple and very effective technique is the 4-7-8 breath. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold it for a count of 7, and exhale through your mouth for a count of 8. Repeat this for 5 minutes, 2 to 3 times a day. This technique activates the parasympathetic nervous system, the body's relaxation system, causing blood pressure to naturally lower. Sixth, consider practicing meditation or mindfulness regularly, because chronic stress is one of the biggest enemies of healthy blood pressure, and meditation is one of the most powerful tools for managing stress. It doesn't have to be complicated, just 10 to 15 minutes a day, sitting comfortably, focusing on your breathing, and letting thoughts come and go without clinging to them. There are several free apps that can guide you if you're a beginner. The benefits of meditation for cardiovascular health are widely proven by science. Seventh, optimize your sleep, because sleep quality is directly related to blood pressure. When you don't sleep well, your body can't properly regulate hormones, and blood pressure tends to rise. Establish a consistent sleep routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every day. Create a dark, quiet, and cool bedroom. Avoid screens at least an hour before bed, and avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. If you have trouble sleeping, consider drinking chamomile, passion flower, or valerian tea before bed. 8th, reduce or eliminate alcohol consumption, because excessive alcohol raises blood pressure in several ways. It causes dehydration, interferes with the metabolism of important nutrients, overloads the liver, causes weight gain, and negatively interacts with blood pressure medications. If you have hypertension, ideally, you should avoid alcohol completely. But if that's not realistic for you, limit it as much as possible, no more than an occasional, sporadic drink. 9th, consider intermittent fasting if it's appropriate for you, as fasting has shown impressive benefits for cardiovascular health and blood pressure control. A 16-hour fast, where you eat during an 8-hour window each day, helps improve insulin sensitivity, reduce inflammation, promote cellular autophagy, the cleansing and renewal of cells, all of which contribute to vascular health. But before beginning any fasting protocol, talk to your doctor, especially if you take medications or have other health conditions. 10th, maintain a healthy weight, as excess weight is one of the main risk factors for hypertension. Each pound lost means less work for the heart and less strain on the cardiovascular system. If you're overweight, work gradually to lose weight healthily through proper nutrition and exercise, without fad diets or miracle cures. Sustainable weight loss is 1 to 2 pounds per week, no more. Now, I'll give you a realistic timeline of what to expect when you begin the herbal protocol. In the first 3 to 5 days, you may begin to experience some initial effects, such as increased urine output, meaning you'll urinate more frequently as your body eliminates excess fluids and sodium. Some people also report feeling more energy and fewer headaches in these first few days. Blood pressure readings may begin to show subtle reductions, perhaps 3 to 5 points, but these aren't the full results yet. From the first to the second week, the effects begin to take hold. Your blood pressure tends to drop more consistently, with reductions of 5 to 10 points in systolic and 3 to 6 points in diastolic. You'll likely feel better overall, more energetic, sleep better, and less anxious. It's important to continue measuring your blood pressure daily and recording the results to monitor your progress. From the 3rd to 4th week, results are generally more robust, with many people experiencing reductions of 10 to 15 points or even more in systolic blood pressure. At this point, you really feel the difference in your quality of life. Symptoms associated with high blood pressure, such as headaches, dizziness, fatigue, and palpitations, tend to significantly decrease or disappear. If you take blood pressure medication, this is the point where you can start talking to your doctor about adjusting your dosage, as your blood pressure may be dropping so much that you're at risk of hypotension if you stay on the same medication from the 2nd and 3rd month onwards. With consistent use of herbs and maintenance of healthy habits, blood pressure tends to stabilize at healthy levels. Many people achieve blood pressure in the 120/80ths range or even lower, which is considered ideal. At this point, under medical supervision, some people are able to significantly reduce or even completely eliminate antihypertensive medications. Depending on the initial severity of hypertension and individual response, it's important to understand that each person is unique and may respond differently to the protocol. Some people see results faster, others take a little longer. Factors such as age, length of time with hypertension, severity of the condition, presence of other diseases, medication use, genetics all influence the response. But what I can guarantee you, based on years of experience and hundreds of scientific studies, is that when you use these herbs correctly, consistently, along with dietary and lifestyle changes, the results will come. It may take a little longer or a little less time, but they will come. A question many people ask is how long I need to use herbs, whether it's forever or if I can stop after my blood pressure normalizes. The answer depends on the individual situation. If you had mild hypertension and managed to completely normalize your blood pressure with herbs and lifestyle changes, you can try taking strategic breaks from using herbs, maintaining healthy habits, and monitoring your blood pressure closely to see if it remains stable. If your blood pressure rises again when you stop taking herbs, then you probably need to continue using them continuously, or at least most of the time. If you had more severe hypertension, you'll likely need to use herbs more continuously over the long term, possibly forever. But that's okay because, as I've explained, herbs are safe for long-term use when used correctly, with strategic breaks when necessary. Think of herbs like brushing your teeth. It's not something you do for a while and then stop. It's a self-care habit you maintain because you value your health. Another frequently asked question is whether herbs can completely replace medication. The honest answer is that it depends on each case. For mild to moderate hypertension, many people can manage their blood pressure with herbs, diet, and lifestyle alone, without the need for medication. But for severe hypertension, especially if you already have organ damage, such as the heart, kidneys, or brain, you'll likely need to continue taking medication, at least partially, alongside herbs. The important thing is to never, ever stop taking your medications on your own without medical advice. Use herbs as a complement to conventional treatment, not as an immediate replacement. As your blood pressure improves with herbs and lifestyle changes, talk to your doctor about the possibility of gradually reducing your medications under supervision. Many doctors today are more open to integrative approaches that combine the best of conventional medicine with the best of natural therapies. If you have a doctor who isn't open to this kind of conversation, who completely dismisses natural approaches, consider finding a second doctor who is more receptive and up-to-date on integrative medicine. You deserve a doctor who listens to you, considers your preferences, and works in partnership with you to find the best approach for your individual health. Now I'll give you some tips on where to buy quality herbs. Because unfortunately, not all herbs sold on the market are of the necessary quality for therapeutic purposes. Ideally, you should buy from compounding pharmacies or stores specializing in natural products that work with reliable suppliers and have quality certifications. Avoid buying very cheap herbs from markets or fairs without a known origin, as they may be contaminated with pesticides, fungi, or may have been stored improperly, losing their active ingredients. For hibiscus, specifically, look for Hibiscus sabdariffa, which is the species with proven medicinal properties, not just any ornamental hibiscus. The flower should have a deep red color and a characteristic aroma. For horsetail, make sure it's Equisetum arvens and not other species. For rosemary, choose fresh rosemary whenever possible, but dried rosemary also works well as long as it's of good quality and stored properly. Store your herbs in airtight containers, away from light, heat, and moisture, to preserve their properties for as long as possible. Properly stored dried herbs can last 6 months to a year, retaining most of their active ingredients, but the fresher the better. If you have the space, consider growing your own herbs at home, especially rosemary, which is very easy to grow and always have fresh available. Before I close, I want to offer you a message of encouragement and hope. High blood pressure isn't a life sentence limited by medication. You have power over your health. You can reverse this condition, or at least manage it in a much more natural and healthy way than you've probably been told. The herbs I've taught you today, hibiscus, horsetail, and rosemary, are incredibly powerful tools that nature has gifted us with, and modern science has confirmed what ancient wisdom already knew. But herbs alone don't work miracles. They're part of an integrated approach that includes healthy eating, physical activity, stress management, quality sleep, positive relationships, and life purpose. When you address all these aspects, you're not just controlling your blood pressure. You're creating vibrant health. You're adding years to your life and life to your years. You're giving yourself the opportunity to age with quality, to watch your children and grandchildren grow up, to realize your dreams, and to live fully. I know change can seem daunting at first, that it can feel difficult to let go of old habits and create new ones. But remember, you don't have to do it all at once. You can start with one small step today, add another tomorrow, gradually building a lifestyle that supports your health. Every cup of tea you drink, every healthy meal you choose, every walk you take, every night of restful sleep, all of this is building up and moving you toward healing and vitality. And you are not alone on this journey. You have this channel as a resource, you have the community in the comments, and you can seek out integrative health professionals who can support you through this process. Don't give up on yourself. Don't passively accept a life limited by illness when there are so many possibilities for healing and transformation available. You deserve health. You deserve vitality. You deserve to live fully. So here's my final challenge for you. For the next 5 days, commit to drinking hibiscus tea every day, 3 to 4 cups spread throughout the day. Measure your blood pressure at the beginning of these 5 days and again at the end, and come back here in the comments to tell me your results. I bet you'll be surprised by the improvement that can occur in such a short time. And after those 5 days, continue with the full protocol. Add horsetail and rosemary, maintain the dietary and lifestyle changes, and in a month, you'll be transformed. If this video was helpful to you, if you learned something valuable that could make a real difference in your life or the life of someone you love, then please click the like button now. This will immensely help the channel grow and reach more people who are suffering from high blood pressure and need this information that can literally save lives. Share this video with your friends, family, in WhatsApp groups, on social media. Because knowledge shared is knowledge multiplied, and you can be the instrument that brings hope and healing to someone who is desperate and doesn't know what to do. And if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now and activate the bell to receive notifications whenever I post a new video. I post content every week providing information on natural health, how to use the power of medicinal plants, healthy eating, and healthy lifestyle habits to prevent and reverse disease. This channel exists to empower you, to give you practical tools you can use immediately to transform your health, all based on science but explained in a clear and accessible way. Leave a comment about your biggest discovery in this video. What surprised you most, and tell us if you already use any of these herbs or if you're going to start now. I read all comments and respond whenever possible, so this is your chance to interact, ask questions, and share your experience. Let's build a community of people committed to natural health and true healing together. Thank you so much for watching this far. Your attention and time are valuable, and I honor the trust you've placed in me by seeking this information. We'll see you in the next video with more powerful knowledge for your health. Until then, take good care of yourself, put into practice what you've learned today, and always remember that healing is within your reach. You just need to take the first step. A huge hug from the bottom of my heart, and may God bless you abundantly with health, peace, and vitality.